Hey guys, these are your classmates, Bruce, Stacey, and Victoria, and we want to talk to you guys about Chile and the education system in Chile. Chile is located in South America between the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean, and its population is about 17 million. It's a multi-ethnic society, so it's very diverse, and its language is Spanish. The religion is mainly Roman Catholic.
Hola, soy Stacey, reportando desde Chile. Today I'm going to talk to you about the different kinds of education systems in Chile. There are three different kinds, very similar to here in the United States. Public, subsidized, and private. The first two, public and subsidized, are funded by the government, and private, obviously, is paid by individual. That's the main type of schooling in Chile. The school year in Chile starts in March and ends in December, and all students must wear uniforms. The different levels of education are very similar to the United States. They start with a preschool up to 5 years old, next primary, which is similar to ours, it's elementary to middle, and then the secondary schooling. And then a lot of students either go to universities and technical schools in Chile or venture out into the other countries. Thank you. Go.
Like Stacey mentioned, there are three categories of schools: public schools, private schools, and the schools in between. The most concerning aspects are between the public schools and the private schools. Public schools are often looked down on because of the low funding, which means poor quality of education. This means that there have also been a lack of resources and teachers are poorly paid. This problem has actually been brought to the attention of the government through riots. Here's a video. Although the riots were downplayed by the government, these protests were described as complete success by the organizers.
And I think it was an important thing because up to that point, and you know this probably better than me because you're in the field of education as well, is that sometimes although everybody, politicians and everybody like to say that education is the first priority, and when it comes to budget and it comes to turning that into actual policy, education is never in the first one of the top five priorities. So people will be more worried about other parts of the budget, or health or defense or foreign affairs or whatever before coming to education. So that happens in every country, and I think one of the most positive. This is a very this is my personal opinion, but one of the positive outcomes of the different demonstrations that we had last year was that sorry, that it put education really in the first priority of everybody. There was a huge, very broad political debate and a very broad consensus that you needed to make some changes in education in Chile, invest more money in different places, and that was a very important outcome. And because it's still like that, because the issue really was put on the top level of the agenda.
This is a piece of our interview with Ambassador Felipe Consuelo from the Chilean Embassy. Felipe agrees that students took perfect advantage of this opportunity to become more politically involved with the educational reform. Currently, leaders of the Chilean student movement presented the 2013 budget proposal before a congressional committee.
Along with the new proposed educational budget, incentives are being offered to the teachers in the form of scholarships and grants to attract them to the public schools and keep them there. Currently, the teaching profession is considered a Plan B. This is because the academic standards for teaching are relatively low compared to other careers. Furthermore, school teachers are paid less, deterring the well-qualified teachers from the public schools.
In Chile, they still stress too much about knowledge of certain things, that they learn certain things, that they have the knowledge in many. And here, what I find interesting is that it's more about learning to learn, which I think is better in the long run. So I see that my own kids, there's less emphasis in getting them to learn a lot of stuff, but more into teaching them how to research and do essays and present their stuff and
Think on their own.
think on their own. And I think that's a good thing. So I think one of the problems that we have with Chilean students, for example, coming here for postgraduate studies or for graduate studies, when they get scholarships in the country to American universities, is that they don't know how to write.
To conclude our project, we'd like to discuss some important things. I like to compare our education system with that of Chile's. Something common that I've seen is that teaching is still a female-dominated profession because of gender roles and things like that. A difference is that they have the same curriculum throughout all of their school systems, and it's obvious that we don't have that.
Okay, this project has also come to impact us because it comes to open our eyes to not take for granted our education system here in the United States. For instance, even though there are similarities, like Bruce mentioned, in our school systems, Chile is able to learn from us and from the way that we teach because of the fact that a lot of times their curriculum is structured and unilateral, so they do a lot of memorizing and stuff like that. Unlike the United States, where we do a lot more conceptual work and a lot more, we have a lot more of a flexible curriculum. I believe that, or we learned, it impacted us because we learned that the more flexible you are, the more we're able to be effective teachers in helping a student and fostering a student grow academically.
All right. When it comes down to it, education is a fundamental human right. It's essential for the use of all other human rights. It doesn't depend where you are in the world and how you're being educated. Education promotes individual freedom and empowerment. Education is also a very powerful tool that can be used to lift people out of poverty. We'd like to say, muchas gracias.